You can be surrounded by people and still feel completely alone. You can have hundreds of friends online and zero real connections. You can be in a relationship and feel more isolated than ever. Loneliness isn't about being alone. It's about feeling disconnected from yourself and the world around you. Seneca understood this deeply. He was one of the wealthiest men in Rome, advisor to the emperor, surrounded by people constantly. Yet he wrote, "The greatest remedy for loneliness is solitude." That sounds like a contradiction. How can solitude cure loneliness? Because the Stoics understood something most people never learn. Loneliness is not the problem. Your relationship with yourself is the problem. Today, you're going to learn 5 Stoic truths about loneliness that will completely change how you see it. These aren't feel-good affirmations. These are hard truths that will set you free. If you've ever felt lonely, isolated, or disconnected, stay until the end. Let's begin. Truth 1. You are never truly alone. You are always with yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Here's what most people don't realize. You spend every single moment of your life with one person, yourself. From the moment you're born until the moment you die, you never get a break from your own company. Yet most people are terrible company to themselves. They constantly criticize themselves, judge themselves, reject themselves. Then they wonder why they feel lonely. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." He was saying, stop seeking validation from others. Be comfortable with yourself, even if that means standing alone. When you feel lonely, what are you actually feeling? You're feeling disconnected. But disconnected from what? From yourself. You've abandoned yourself. You're looking outside for something that can only be found inside. Seneca wrote, "The wise man is self-sufficient. He can lose nothing." Why? Because he's cultivated a relationship with himself. He enjoys his own company. He doesn't need constant external validation to feel okay. Let me ask you honestly, if you had to spend an entire day alone with yourself, no phone, no distractions, just you and your thoughts, would you enjoy it? Or would it be torture? For most people, it would be torture. Why? Because they've never learned to be good company to themselves. They're constantly running from themselves through distractions, substances, or other people. Then they call that feeling loneliness. But it's not loneliness, it's self-abandonment. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking, within yourself, not in other people, not in circumstances, in your relationship with yourself." Here's the practice. Start spending time alone intentionally. Take yourself on a walk with no headphones. Eat a meal by yourself, without your phone. Spend an evening at home doing something you enjoy, alone. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. But if you keep doing it, something beautiful happens. You start to enjoy your own company. You start to know yourself. You start to respect yourself. And when you genuinely enjoy being with yourself, you're never truly lonely. This is the first truth. You are never truly alone. You are always with yourself. The question is, are you good company? Truth 2. Quality over quantity. In all relationships, Seneca wrote, "One loyal friend is worth 10,000 relatives." We live in a world obsessed with numbers. How many followers? How many friends? How many connections? But the Stoics knew that numbers mean nothing. One deep connection is worth more than 1,000 shallow ones. Epictetus said, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." Here's a hard truth. You might feel lonely because you're surrounded by the wrong people. People who drain you, people who don't really know you, people you have to perform for. That's not connection. That's exhaustion disguised as socializing. Real connection happens when you can be fully yourself with another person, when you don't have to edit, when you don't have to perform, when silence is comfortable. Most people don't have this. They have acquaintances, co-workers, social media friends, people they present a curated version of themselves. 2. Then they wonder why they feel lonely in a crowd, because they are lonely. Their real self is alone, hidden behind a performance. Seneca wrote, "It is quality rather than quantity that matters. Better to have 2 real friends than 200 fake ones." Here's what this means practically. Stop collecting people. Start cultivating depth. Stop saying yes to every social invitation out of fear of missing out. Start being selective about whose energy you invite into your life. Stop maintaining relationships that drain you out of obligation. Start investing in the few that actually fill you up. This will feel uncomfortable at first. You might have fewer friends, fewer invitations, fewer likes on social media, but you'll have something more valuable, real connection. Here's a practice. Audit your relationships honestly. Make 3 lists. People who energize you, people who drain you, people who are neutral. Then make a choice. Invest more time in list 1. Set boundaries with list 2. Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." If you're trying to be friends with everyone, you're truly friends with no one. Choose depth over breadth. quality over quantity, real over fake. You might end up with fewer people in your life, but you'll feel less lonely because the people who remain will actually know you. This is the second truth. One real connection is worth more than 1,000 shallow ones. Truth 3. Solitude is strength, not weakness. Our culture treats being alone as failure. If you're eating alone, people pity you. If you're not constantly busy socially, something must be wrong with you. The Stoics saw it exactly opposite. Solitude is strength. Constant need for company is weakness. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for loneliness is solitude." He's saying if you feel lonely, what you need is not more people. What you need is to develop your capacity for solitude. People who can't be alone are dependent. They need external stimulation constantly. They need validation. They need distraction from themselves. That's not strength, that's addiction. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You can retreat into yourself whenever you choose." He understood that true solitude isn't about location. It's about the ability to be with yourself peacefully, regardless of circumstances. Epictetus taught, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. Other people are beyond your control. Their presence, their availability, their approval. If your peace depends on them, you're not free. But if you can be at peace in solitude, you're truly free, because no one can take that from you." Think about the strongest people you know. They're comfortable alone. They don't need constant company. They enjoy people, but they don't need them to feel whole. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Solitude is a trial. It forces you to face yourself. Most people avoid it because it's uncomfortable. But if you can learn to sit with yourself in solitude, you become unbreakable. Here's the practice. Schedule regular solitude. Once a week, spend at least 2 hours completely alone. No phone, no distractions, just you. Go for a walk, sit in nature, journal, read, think. The first few times will be uncomfortable, but if you keep doing it, you'll discover something incredible. Solitude becomes peaceful, then enjoyable, then powerful. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Being alone is external. Loneliness is your estimate of being alone. Change your estimate. This is the third truth. Solitude is strength, not weakness. Learn to be alone powerfully. Truth 4. Connection comes from being authentic, not likable. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Most people approach relationships backwards. They try to be likable. They edit themselves. They present the version of themselves they think others want to see. Then they wonder why they feel lonely, even when people like them. Because people like a performance, not the real you. The real you is alone, hidden, unknown. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." When you perform for others, they form opinions about your performance, not about you, because they never actually meet you. Real connection requires authenticity, showing up as you are, saying what you actually think, being honest about what you feel. This is terrifying for most people, because authenticity means rejection is possible. But if you show people the real you and they reject you, at least, if you show them a fake version, you'll never know if they actually like you or just the performance. Seneca wrote, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." If you're being a different person with different people, you're being no one. You're nowhere. You're lost. But when you show up authentically, two things happen. First, some people will reject you. Good. They weren't your people anyway. Second, the right people will recognize you. They'll connect with the real you, not a performance. And that connection will be deep and real. Here's the practice. This week, have one brutally honest conversation. Tell someone how you actually feel. Share something real. Stop editing. Stop performing. Maybe you tell a friend you're struggling. Maybe you tell your partner what you actually need. Maybe you share an unpopular opinion. It will feel vulnerable. That's the point. Vulnerability is the price of real connection. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one. Stop performing what you think people want. Just be real and see who stays. You might lose some people, but the ones who remain will actually know you, and that's when loneliness ends." This is the fourth truth. Real connection comes from being authentic, not likable. Truth 5. You are connected to everything. You just forgot. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What injures the hive injures the bee." The Stoics believed that everything in the universe is connected. You're not separate from the world, you're part of it. He also wrote, "We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes. The atoms in your body were forged in stars billions of years ago. The air you breathe has been breathed by every human who ever lived. The water you drink has cycled through oceans and clouds for millions of years. You are literally made of the universe, and the universe is in you. When you feel disconnected, it's because you're trapped in your ego, in the illusion that you're separate, that it's you versus the world. But that's not true. It never was." Seneca wrote, "We are waves of the same sea, leaves of the same tree, flowers of the same garden." When you remember this, loneliness becomes impossible. Not because you have more people around you, but because you Realize you were never separate to begin with. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Constantly think of the universe as one living organism, with one substance and one soul experiencing itself through billions of perspectives." When you truly understand this, you stop feeling separate, you stop feeling lonely. Here's the practice. Spend time in nature, not for exercise, for remembering. Sit under a tree, look at the stars, watch the ocean, feel the wind, and remember, you are not separate from any of this. You are this, the same atoms, the same energy, the same consciousness. The tree is breathing out what you breathe in. You're breathing out what the tree breathes in. You're in a constant exchange, a connection. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything is interwoven and the web is holy." You are part of that web, always have been, always will be. The loneliness you feel is amnesia. You forgot who you are. When you remember this, you're never alone again. This is the fifth truth. You are connected to everything. You just forgot. Remember, and be free. Let's review these 5 Stoic truths about loneliness. 1. You are never truly alone. You are always with yourself. Be good company. 2. Quality over quantity. 1. Real connection beats 1,000 shallow ones. 3. Solitude is strength, not weakness. Learn to be alone powerfully. 4. Connection comes from being authentic, not likable. Stop performing. Be real. 5. You are connected to everything. You just forgot. Remember, Seneca wrote, "Begin at once to live, not after you find the perfect friend, not after you fix your loneliness. Now." Because here's the final truth. You were never actually lonely. You just believed you were. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. It's all within yourself. It always was." Thank you for watching. If this changed your perspective, share it with someone who feels alone. Now go remember who you really are.